I hope you are doing good today. So today I want to talk to you about when you start a new workout program and you're noticing that the scale is moving in the wrong direction. So this actually came up because one of my coaches, one of her challengers, has been doing a workout and she started to notice this. And today I had two groups kick off. I had my free fitness group, so we're not fully focusing on nutrition in that group. It's more just I'm giving them a workout to do each day. But my 21-day Summer Strong group kicked off today. So I know in the next week or so, this is going to come up with a bunch of them because it comes up every month with every new group. So you've started a new workout program, and this usually will happen when you're starting something that's a little bit more extreme. So for me, I notice it, or I get it from my customers who are doing Fix Extreme, Hammer and Chisel. So I actually completed Hammer and Chisel. That's why I'm wearing this t-shirt today. Hammer and Chisel, Insanity Max 30, which a bunch of new people will be doing for my next group, and Body Beast. So it's because you're challenging your body in a new way that you probably haven't challenged it before. So what happens in the beginning of a new workout? You begin to get sore. You have muscle soreness. So usually I get people, especially if they start out doing the 21-day Fix Extreme and they haven't done one of our workouts before, they're noticing that they are like, wow, I'm like using muscles I've never used, and they're sore. They're sore in places they've never been sore before. And especially if you've never really done strength training before and you're just starting a program that's mostly strength training, which is your Fix Extreme, your Hammer and Chisel, and your Body Beast. It's a lot of strength training. And so maybe you're lifting heavier than you've ever lifted before. You're going to be sore. You're going to have what people call DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So you might not notice it until 24 hours to 48 hours later. So people will always say the day after leg day. And for some people, they really feel it like 2 days after. So what happens? You're starting a new workout program, which means you're also probably starting a new meal plan or nutrition plan. You've started this workout. You're probably lifting heavier. You're going to more extremes. For Max 30, it's more extreme cardio than people have probably ever done before. So they're really feeling it. And so when you're sore, your muscle is breaking down. The tissue is breaking down. So it's going to be more swollen and inflamed, and that is retaining fluid retention. So you're going to feel that, right? And what happens when you retain fluid, that scale is going to increase. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've gained weight. It doesn't mean that you've gained fat. It's just your body is retaining fluid right now. For me personally, I struggle with that. I retain fluid really easily. And so anytime I start a new workout program, I always will see that the scale will increase at the very beginning. Doesn't matter what program I start. This just always happens for me. And what happens is it might even take me 2 weeks, but it'll eventually level itself back out. You have to trust the process, right? It's a system. So in the beginning, your body's going into protective mode, like fight or flight. What's happening? We're doing something much more rigorous. We're on this new plan, especially if you're not used to eating pretty healthy and clean. A new plan is going to be pretty extreme for you. So your body's saying, okay, I got to adjust to this. And so it's going to like protect and hold on, and that's where that fluid is coming from. But if you stick with it and you give it those 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to say, oh, okay, we're not going into starvation mode. Nothing bad is happening to us. And it just will even itself back out. And then you'll probably notice that the scale will go down. So what I really try to stress with my new clients in their workouts is focus, like for our 21-day group, I want them to weigh themselves before we start. And then I don't want them to get on it again until we're done. Because A, I freaking hate the scale and the scale lies. And B, it really will mess with your head. And especially with people, they go into this with high expectations when they start a program. And it's very easy to get very discouraged if in your first week, all of a sudden you've gained 3 pounds and your goal is to lose 20, you're going in the wrong direction. So you freak out. So I tell you, don't get on that scale, stay off of it. I want you to feel about, by week 3, focus on, I can do more push-ups now than I did in week 1. I can lift heavier in week 3 than I did in week 1. I can run faster in week 3 than week 1. I have more stamina. I can last longer. I don't have to take as many rests or breaks by week 3 than in week 1. By week 3, I have my meal plan figured out. I know it's working. I don't even have to measure out my portions as much. I know exactly how many proteins and fats and carbs I should be eating. I've gotten into the mode of meal prep, and so you're kind of on this autopilot. Things just becomes a routine and a habit, and things start to work by week 3. So you have to trust that process. Now, if you're in a longer program that's more than a 3 weeks worth of workouts, if you're in a 60-day or a 90-day program, for me, I'll notice if I have like 3 phases in a workout, I'm going to gain that fluid retention in the beginning of phase 1, and then I'm going to even back out. And then the beginning of phase 2, because now I'm introducing something new, and that's going to happen. And then the same thing by phase 3, the same thing happens. That's just how my body reacts. So your body may be reacting the same way. So you have to trust the system, stay off the scale, don't freak out, focus on eating clean. Are you choosing the best sources? So that's my tip for after. The only time I would freak out is like if by week 4 you haven't lost any weight and the scale is continuing to increase, then that's probably you have to swallow your pill and look at what you're actually eating and say, am I really eating clean? For those of you who are doing our workouts, you get a meal guide booklet and you get a food guide list that will tell you the best sources of proteins that you should be eating, the best sources of complex carbohydrate, the best fruits that are going to be the most nutrients and fiber, veggies, healthy fats, etc. If you're eating something that's not on the approved list, well, it probably has other crap in it. So even if you feel like, oh, I'm eating protein bars, I know Quest bars taste delicious, but they're really not overly healthy for you. If you follow some of our meal plans, they have homemade recipes that you can make to make your own protein bars and take them on the go with you. So you have made the ingredients, you know exactly what's in it. There's none of this artificial other stuff. So keeping it seriously clean for like 3 weeks straight, getting out anything. So no fast food, none of these prepackaged. If it's prepackaged, it's probably got loaded with sodium. It's probably got added sugar. It has probably higher carbs. Probably the sources of that protein or the sources of those carbs are not the best for you. And so this is what I usually tell people. I want them to give me 21 days. I want you to focus on the plan. I don't want you to deviate from what's in your booklet, and then see what your results are at the end. And those who stick to it and are eating super clean and they're increasing their weights and they're doing their workouts and they're pushing themselves, they're the ones who are going to see the most results at the end. So to recap, don't think that just because the scale increases that first week that the workout's not working for you, that the meal plan isn't working for you. You start to play around with it, and that's what I see. People say, oh, I'm going to adjust my calorie count. I'm going to adjust how many servings of this I'm eating, how many servings of that I'm eating. And you play around with it too much. You're totally confusing your body. You haven't even given it the full 3 weeks to adjust to the original meal plan that you were just beginning. So don't play around with it. Give it those 3 weeks. And then you can say, okay, now what do I need to change? Or now do I need to adjust something? So don't freak out about it. And don't give up. And that's what I see. I have some clients who after week 1, if it didn't work for them, then they just want to throw in the towel and they want to give up. They're going to go back to eating the way they were eating, which clearly wasn't working the first time. And they're going to go back to doing or not doing whatever workout they were doing before that wasn't working for them. So you have to trust the process. You're introducing your body to something new. The workout and usually the meal plan, it's usually more, it's probably more healthy, and therefore if you're used to eating a lot more junk or whatever, then your body has to adjust to it. So you have to just give it time, and then it will even itself back out. Let's see, Greg. I got to get under for that. Yes, get it under. Way too much. Yes, way too much calories. So that's what it is. So our meal plans all break it down for you by your weight, by your height, and by your physical activity, and what your normal day job is, and what your workout is. And there's a whole formula that goes into it, what will tell you what your overall daily average calories should be, and then it'll break it down for you into how many carbs you should be eating. And then again, we have the best source of carb list, how many fruits and veggies you should be getting, how many lean proteins you should be getting, and then how much amount of healthy fats you should be getting. And so that's what my encouragement for you guys today. I'm going to share this with my new group of clients as well, because this will probably come up probably by next week, since they'll have had a full week of doing the workouts and the meal plans and drinking Shakeology, and some of them who are doing their performance recovery. You know, you just have to give yourself time to get used to something. So don't quit in the first 2 weeks, or don't get frustrated in the first 2 weeks if the scale isn't moving as much. And that's why I tell everybody to take pictures, because the scale will not always judge what pictures show. Pictures show way more the progress. It's going to show definition. It's going to be able to show you the inches that are lost, whereas a scale isn't going to do that for you. So those are my biggest tips for you guys. Yes, couch to 5K. A lot of people do that. That's great. If you're running a race, there's lots of those that you can find online. And that works for some people, especially if they're doing the 5K, the 10K, or a longer race. That works for them. So that's cool, Greg. Awesome. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for getting on. If this was helpful for you, then just click that share button and share it with your friends so that this will be helpful for them.